station.
To noon on your favorite radio station, FM 100.3, KFAN is 1019. Good morning. The philanthropic portion of the equation has been season long for 9 to noon in the Friday Football Feast. A few weeks ago, we fell into a charitable sponsor. Scott Fish with FantasyCares.org made it available to Nordo, Alec, and yours truly from FantasyCares.org for all the points we finish with our In Honor of Paul, as in Paul Charchian, fantasy segments during the year. FantasyCares.org is going to put up $50 per point. All right, that thing currently stands at $7,300. Why do I remember that? Because it's been at $7,300 for the last 2 weeks. Ever since FantasyCares.org jumped into the equation, all of us have taken goose eggs 2 consecutive weeks. Are you kidding me? I mean, what a bunch of loser moves by us with others suffering.
Yeah.
So we're looking to turn that frown upside down. And by the way, Chris Finch, coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, with the charity of my choice, Second Harvest Heartland. A couple of Tuesdays ago, we had Finchy on, told him about the bit. He put us on a 0 with George Pickens. That's fine. But he said whatever number I end up with during the year, he's going to match. So we got to start putting up some numbers, boys.
Yeah, we do.
In honor of Paul, as in Paul Charchian, and thus the fantasy component to it. We only have 3 of these left.
I feel good about this week.
We have running backs this week. The only rules are we can't use the same player twice. 6 points for rushing and receiving touchdowns, 4 points for passing touchdowns. And I have 54 points. Alec has 52. Nordo has 40. Nordo goes first. Who do you like?
Well, this Feed My Starving Children, I feel like there could be a points-related feast this weekend, and it's going to come on the legs and the catching hands of Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson at the Cardinals. My stats that I looked up, nobody close to me looked it up. I did, not Scott Fish. Third most running back scores allowed, that being the Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon's defense. 5 in just the last 2 weeks alone. And it's crazy. He's one of the most used players in the NFL. Bijan Robinson, only 8 total TDs, I believe, this year. But that's going to change this weekend at Arizona. Bijan Robinson is going to get Feed My Starving Children paid in a big way.
And the Kyrie Jackson Foundation was the charity of choice for @Alec_Lewis via the X Machine. Please follow him if you're so inclined. Who is your running back going to be? And hopefully we make a lot of money courtesy of FantasyCares.org.
I'm so glad Nordo left me Saquon Barkley.
Oh, wow.
Saquon Barkley is the Eagles running back. You might know him.
Oh, I've heard of him.
They play the Commanders this weekend, and the stats that I brought for you today are, you saw the Commanders 2 weeks ago, and you know what that defense is, as do I. And Saquon against that defense feels like a very strong mismatch. So, Saquon Barkley, Eagles, they're coming off the 31-0 spot against the Raiders. You know, they're going to be motivated against this divisional team. So, Saquon, I feel really, really good about this. Fantasy Cares, there's going to be some money involved with the Kyrie Jackson Foundation after this weekend. I just know it.
You got to be kidding me with, I mean, this is, I've done these feasts for a decade and a half, all right? So we've had philanthropic ties, maybe not to this show, but other things. Scott Fish with FantasyCares.org, who comes to the feast, and he's the one that runs it. He's the one that's making the $50 a point available. I mean, he provides Nordo with elite Bijan Robinson intel. He helps me come up with James Cook, all right, and then drops in front of me like some Browns-related run defense stuff that, quite honestly, I'm probably not going to find. So I'm taking. So it's like it's not masochistic.
No.
But it's $10 or more $1,000 is going to come out of fantasycares.org.
And he's actively helping us.
And the one delivering, it's the one helping. It's the most beautiful thing ever. It's a Christmas story.
No, I was just walking in here. Scott was getting out of his car at the same time this morning, and we exchanged pleasantries. He joined us on the radio the other day, just thanking him for that.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm thinking about going to Bijan. And it just hits me with stats.
Why don't I get stats?
Well, because you're the scribe.
You didn't show up early enough.
Okay, you send the doc. I mean, you don't need it. You're a self-proclaimed elite football mind. You don't need it. It's the way Scott looks at it.
I've never self-proclaimed.
So, courtesy of Mr. Scott Fish and FantasyCares.org, I'm taking James Cook, running back Buffalo Bills.
Ooh, really good.
The Cleveland Browns have allowed lead running backs to score 5 consecutive games, 7 total, 2 last week, 2 the week before, and the Bills are going to get up on the Browns and run the ball. Hey, I like this equation. So I'm taking James Cook. I got James Cook for Second Harvest Heartland. Let's go Fenchie. Let's go Fenchie tonight, too, by the way, against OKC.
Yeah, they need it. They need one.
And Alec Lewis selects Saquon Barkley with his 52 points. Who's Philly playing again?
The Washington Commanders.
Right. And Nordo goes with Bijan Robinson, fantasycares.org. Thank you very much. Let's take a left turn here for a couple of minutes since it just came up. Why do you say because off the Memphis loss? Because the Timberwolves won a bunch of games before that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They don't need. I mean, look, they're playing the Thunder. The odds are probably very long that they beat the Thunder because they're the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
A midweek game at home.
It's Friday.
Against a pretty. No, I know. This tonight is. But like the Memphis game, the Suns game, it's like if the Wolves are playing a midweek game against a pretty average team at home and it's really cold outside, they're somehow going to lose that game. That's just how I feel when I flip them on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know they didn't have Ant the other night. They didn't. The offense
that shouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it shouldn't have. And the offense was putrid. It's just my expectation for this team should be that a midweek game at home against a pretty average team, you got to win that game. That's why I say that about the Timberwolves.
Well, it's worrisome. I mean, they're 17-10, so for the most part, you like that record. I believe they were. That's a better record than they were at this time last year.
Yeah.
But other than just kind of fodder, like between us, we can say it kind of seems sometimes like they're bored. That they're bored against whether it's bad teams. You're mentioning midweek matchups. Well, when you start hearing that stuff from guys like Ant and you start getting that implied inside the locker room, I mean, we saw even a year ago how much playoff positioning mattered, where ultimately one game separated like the 6th seed from the 3rd seed. And so at this time of the year, losing a midweek game to Memphis potentially matters in what is set to be another muddy Western Conference fight.
Anthony Edwards, best player on the Timberwolves, questionable into the game like he was early in the week. I'm telling you right now, according to Lisa's point spread changes, Ant ain't playing tonight. Oklahoma City's favored by 7.5. Okay, and I know that they're better than the Wolves and they're the best team in the league. 7.5 is a road favorite. That's kind of a dead indicator that old Anthony ain't going to play.
I don't know. The Wolves need a point guard. They need another point guard. So I don't know how Tim Connolly. I know he's moving and shaking and he's always active and in the market. Like you hear that all the time about Tim Connolly. But
I want T.J. McConnell. From the Pacers.
Watching last night.
He's interesting.
Well, he only plays 11 to 15
because he's 45 years old.
But what you're going to give up to get him is minimal.
And I agree with you.
And if you get 25 to 30 from a regular basis, I think he's a plug-and-play 10-12 dime guy that is the epitome of field general, despite being of the elder variety.
Would the Pacers move him? They wouldn't part with him, would they?
Well, the team's a disaster, and they need assets.
He plays like 8 minutes a night, maybe 17.
They don't use him.
He's a leader. He's a
I would like that
guy.
Yeah, that would. T.J. McConnell would be a good answer.
I'm just thinking because everyone's talking about Ja Morant and some of these higher end names. I get that, and I get what potential allure is, but
you can't afford it.
To your point, you can't afford it. You can afford a T.J. McConnell, and he steps in and participates.
Jose Alvarado,
the D League can afford T.J. McConnell too at age 38. Jose Alvarado, wow. What was that? What'd you put on Jackson Dart right out of the gate? The Red Bull bit.
Red Bull mountain bike cliff jumper guy.
That's Jose Alvarado.
But that's fine.
He's just
that's fine.
He's wild.
Right. That's okay as a point guard backup-ish type.
yeah.
But I'm not sure if you want your quarterback to be throwing his head in there like a linebacker.
Hey, get out of there. If we're getting in the weeds, well, they got this Jaime Jaquez, Miami.
Jaime Jaquez.
Yeah, I mean, he's. I think the fans would like him. All right, let's pause. Hey, when we return, we're going to unfurl some Vikes Bites. I'm gonna get a microphone, come out into the crowd, and if you have any Vikings-related questions for Alec and/or Nordo, prepare them now. The announcer's coming out to the crowd around the corner to unfurl Vikes Bites on KFAN. Yo, Buffalo Wild Wings, Apple Valley, what's going on? Vikes Bites, crowd style. How about a round of applause for the Friday football feast? Peace! Anybody got Vikings-related questions? Put your hand up. Probably can get you a T-shirt if you're nice to the street team. But Nordo generally leads Vikes Bites Monday through Thursday. But on Fridays, I lead it, so he can be the analyst. And each and every day, Vikes Bites is provided by
Thousand Hills, lifetime grazed, grass-fed beef.
Oh, he did it. Do it again. Vikes Bites is provided by
Thousand Hills, lifetime grazed, grass-fed beef. Oh, heck yeah. Minnesota Company, Clearwater, Minnesota's finest. It's elite regenerative agricultured beef. It's delicious.
They got fillets.
Oh, they got everything you need.
Yeah. Regenerative beef sounds like it should have cockles.
I don't know what you're saying.
I didn't know what cockles meant earlier either.
Have we defined cockle yet?
It didn't add up.
Okay.
But you've heard warm the cockles of a heart, right?
I believe so.
I might have made it up. All right, we got some very, very, very pertinent questions and or comments for Vikes Bites. First, Lisa from Eden Prairie, what's your question?
My question is for Alec. Alec, how is the marketing director?
Hey, how's the marketing director, young Alec?
Great question, Lisa. The marketing director for the Alec Lewis Show is doing really, really well.
Excellent.
Probably busy at work right now.
Oh, maybe she can buy you a new car. All right. What's your name? Where are you from?
Austin Harper from Apple Valley.
Oh, Austin Harper, as in Austin's 13th birthday.
Yep.
Hey, how about that? All right, you have a Vikes Bite question. What's your question?
Can you promise me Justin Jefferson will get a touchdown?
Oh, Austin wants a promised birthday gift and he's wearing an 18, that Justin Jefferson will score a touchdown this weekend.
Should we, after the press conference today, hey, Kevin, we got Austin Harper. He's 13 years old. Mm-hmm. He needs a Justin touchdown. Can you promise that? Well, I'll pass Kevin the message as best I can. I can't promise it, but we'll tell Kevin after the press conference.
I think that I can promise you that inside that building, they really, really want J.J. McCarthy to throw a touchdown pass to Justin Jefferson.
That would be it.
It may not be the biggest issue on the to-do list or the chore list for these cats.
It's close
but
to
they
it.
really,
the totem.
Really, really want McCarthy to find 18 in the end zone this weekend.
That'd be a nice birthday for you and that sweet little 18. Wait, what'd you say, Alec? Oh, Austin. Alec said if you give him that 18 jersey, he'll bring it to the facility today and get Jefferson to sign it. Whoa!
We need some help from Spearfish on that one, but we might be. Yeah, why?
FINA, Fairness and Negatives Act. He's going to have to go be in a room with fellow journalists, and I don't want him to be teased for that. So Alec never said that, and he never would say that.
The objectivity would be in question.
All those obscure .coms that Austin never will know about, lay off young Alec. Here's a Vikes Bite related question. J.J. McCarthy at the New York Giants. What do you guys expect?
I expect more of what we've seen over the last two games, and again, creating a new standard. So whether you're leaving it to the kid growing up or you're leaving it to the defenses he's facing another target-rich opportunity this weekend against the Giants, who are awful in just about every defensive category. And so limiting sacks, making smart decisions. That pass rush can get after you with Burns. You were talking about Dexter Lawrence and the fact that he's been limited via double teams on the interior, and that's allowed Abdul Carter to grow up a little bit. Big game for him last weekend. And then Brian Burns, who's really been their best defensive player for the totality of 2025. But in the end, we saw, other than a Kenny Clark jumping it against Ryan Kelly moment, they can get after you. Ezeraku was a pretty good rookie for the Cowboys, mitigating that pass rush and then finding the open opportunities. Sometimes it comes at the sacrifice of Justin Jefferson in the fact that the Jalen Nailors are going to be open. The TJ Hawkinsons are going to get more opportunities because of what defenses are doing against number 18. But I think the same blueprint we've seen 2 weeks ago and the growth steps that have become leaps for number 9, I would be actually very, very disappointed if we did not see something similar to what we've seen the last 2 weeks.
Okay. Vikes Bites provided by
Thousand Hills, lifetime grazed, grass-fed beef.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Ken from the Yellow Bar.
Oh, yeah. What's the Vike Bite?
After watching last night, what's our record with Sam Darnold if we had him still?
Oof, what a good question.
What do you think? If the Vikings had Sam Darnold this year, what do you think the record
Alec?
would be?
What a good question. It was a heck of a game last night.
You were going to ask that at the presser today, weren't you?
Yeah. Hey, Kevin. No, Sam Darnold. What would the record be? It would probably be, what are they, 6-8?
Yeah.
I'd say at least.
They're an 11. They're
like a 13-1 to
10-4 probably 10-4 at least.
They're a
I would say.
team.
I mean, I will. One of the aspects of why Sam Darnold has been good this year and was so good last year was that the Vikings played with the lead for so many of the games, and the Seahawks have played with the lead for a ton of games. So if you flip the script and Sam is playing trailing and having to throw all year, then they're probably just not as effective. But Sam is still, I mean, against pretty average defenses, your Steelers of the world, a lot of these teams, the Chargers of the world, like Sam Darnold is probably going to move the football, and he's still really talented.
Vikes Bites, what's your name and where are you from?
John Cossey from New Richmond, Wisconsin.
Hello, John. How are you? Welcome to U.S. Bank Stadium. What's your question?
So my question is, so we've got 3 games left. 2 are against division opponents. We've got the Lions and we've got the Packers. What would it mean to this fan base? What would it mean to this team for the Vikings to squash the hopes of both the Lions and the Packers and have some momentum going into next season?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is from a fan perspective what 6-8 radio truly sounds like.
That is correct, yes. Dashing dreams. Well, I can tell you, I'm not a reporter. I'm not a member of the media. You asked the question because I think it matters to you. It matters the hell to me as well. Momentum in terms of roster turnover and what changes in the offseason is tough to capture that. Momentum of the QB is a real thing. Momentum of individuals is a real thing. And how good, again, 6-8 radio, we're talking about, in the final hour, we're going to talk about like offensive rookies of the year and NFL at large conversation because our team's out of the mix. Can you picture just ruining the Christmas dreams of the kiddies? Can you picture that final, whatever the playoff positioning is for the Pack? Bears on the cusp of winning the division. We send the Packers home, sans Micah Parsons, and an opportunity to play in the postseason. Smashing dreams may be all we have. Taking others down to make ourselves feel better might be in vogue, but that's what we have. And let's just go freaking do it.
All right. Let's go with 2 more. What's your name? Where are you from?
Kyle from Egan.
This is the Lions guy.
And what's your question?
This is the Lions guy.
Do you know JJ's college record when he was in college?
Was he like 29-1?
It was like 27-1 maybe?
27-1.
Okay, cool. What are you trying to win, like Buffalo Wild Wings trivia up on the screen?
Yeah.
Right on, man. Hey, a Merry Christmas. Yep. God bless you. Good to see you. All right. Any other questions here? All right, last one.
That was it.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Jason from Plymouth. The Vikings defense is number 1 in the NFC against the pass yards per game. Just curious how, with the Giants wanting to run the ball so much, how can the defense be ready Sunday to defend the run?
That's an elite question.
That's a great question. I was going to save this for the end, but I'll just say it now. The 2 ways that the Vikings lose this game, the only 2 ways, really, for me, are just ridiculous turnovers offensively.
Yeah.
Or allowing Tracy,
Tyrone
their
Tracy.
running back, Tyrone Tracy Jr., to go off. He's a pretty explosive guy, and so to answer the question, I'd expect the Vikings to kind of load it up, 5-man fronts, 2 linebackers on the field, and force the Giants to beat you on the ground. One of the ways that you'd mitigate that aspect of the game would be grab a lead early in the game, make Jackson Dart have to beat you through the air, and if you can do that, I really don't see a path that the Giants have to win this game, even though the line is probably like 3 points.
Let's and you know what? I couldn't hear you back there, so if you said this, I apologize. But it does bear mentioning, simply because it's 6-8 radio, but this is legitimately good. The Vikings have not given up a pass touchdown,
Crazy.
5 consecutive games. The last time, I think the last time it got to 6 for a team was 2018-2019, the New England Patriots. So 5 consecutive without a passing touchdown. That's pretty good. Okay. Lastly, I do have a Vike Bite for you. Christian Darrisaw. Christian Darrisaw, left tackle, did not practice Wednesday and Thursday. Personally speaking, I'm not expecting him to practice today. I got no idea where this thing's heading, but nevertheless, 2 consecutive DMPs. You're the journalist. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the Christian Darrisaw situation, it's been a journey all season to kind of report on this one, cover it, follow it, try to get at it from a factual standpoint. I'm with you that I would not expect him to play Sunday against the Giants, and
I didn't go that far. I said practice today.
Yeah, practice today, but obviously that would be Sunday. If you don't practice all week,
I wouldn't bet play.
Like the thing that people would ask me, why don't they just shut him down? It's essentially, from what it sounds like and the way Kevin O'Connell has talked about it, like he's dealt with a little knee swelling, and he's been in spots in recent weeks where he can play and he has played, and so wanting JJ McCarthy and prioritizing his development, you would hope that Christian would be in there to be able to protect him and maximize JJ McCarthy. But this has been an interesting, one of the most interesting injury situations.
One way to put it.
I've covered since I've been on the beat here in 2022. Christian's, he's always been kind of an interesting personality. I've enjoyed getting to cover him for sure. And just the hope would be that, more than a year removed from this injury now into the offseason, that you get to next season and this thing does not stick around in terms of just the dynamics of what this has been all season.
Those are Vikes Bites from Buffalo Wild Wings, Apple Valley. 9 to noon continues after this. Hey, Apple Valley, your attention, please. Your attention, please. We know this is the Friday football feast, but it also is the Friday four-checking feast. All your Minnesota Wild do is win in what we're calling Quinnesota, and they won again last night, and they plan to stay that way this week. And
you know who scored last night?
Who?
Matt Boldy.
Boldy. Hey, round of applause. For Boldy. 6 in a row. 6 in a row for the Minnesota Wild. That's sweet.
All in regulation, too.
Are they?
Not even messing around with the OTs, just getting her done.
And they beat Everson last night after beating Ovi. And they got Edmonton is here on Saturday.
Ooh, do we get a little heat check?
Oh, wait a second. Heat check Sunday night. Sunday at 5. Colorado's back in town looking for some more in that shootout.
It's okay.
Alan Roach, Vox of all Voxes, ever to Vox. That'll be sweet. All right, so congratulations to Coach Hines and the Minnesota Wild. Now, before we get into some players of the year and stuff like that, Kirk Cousins had a part of his press conference with the Atlanta Falcons that had some viral to it. We played some of it 9 to noon yesterday and chatted about Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay, the Rams offense, things like Matthew Stafford never had been considered an MVP quarterback in his career. Now he's a Super Bowl winner, and he might be the MVP this year. O'Connell with the offense here. Cousins and things he did with O'Connell and kind of what Kirk was explaining a few days ago. it matters and it resonates. And I know it's resonated with Alec Lewis at Alec_Lewis via X. But first, speaking of quarterbacks, with the college football playoffs beginning this evening, Oklahoma is hosting Alec's Alabama Crimson Tide. Alec is from Anniston, Alabama, in case people didn't know it, and he loves the Crimson Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. So that triggers a question off the benching of Tua Tagovailoa.
Ooh.
Like, what was he like at I mean, I know he was good at Alabama. I'm not an elite college football mind, and he's had moments in the NFL. Like, how, why, and when did this thing just completely fall off? And by the way, with the Dolphins, if the Vikings are looking for a veteran backup quarterback next year,
absolutely not.
No, thank you.
Can I finish the sentence?
Sure.
Who was I going to talk about?
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
He's going with Zach Wilson.
Right. It's if Zach Wilson plays, that's somebody actually to watch if you're looking for context or layering. But clearly, I was the only one. So with Tua Tagovailoa, like, where did it fall off? Why did it fall off, and when?
Yeah, I mean, in college, he debuted in the second half of the national championship game against Georgia and made an unbelievable game-winning throw to Devontae Smith. And at that point, I mean, it was just electric arm. It felt like it was like whippy arm action, really athletic, kind of could move around, dart around in the pocket.
Yeah.
And I mean, he suffered a hip injury late in his college career, still became a first-round pick after that. But, you know, his fatal flaw is just like he struggles to see the field after the snap. And that really, for me, the more I cover the NFL, the more I watch the NFL, like, that is the separator, is when the snap happens, can you see the field? Can you see space? Can you get the ball up and down in the windows? Do you have a feel with it? Like, some guys, I feel like, have that, and some guys I feel like don't have that.
Yeah.
And Tua has, you know, when he's in rhythm and on time in 2.5 seconds, he can put the ball on the money. But when he has to react, second reaction time, type play, he struggles mightily. And so I just feel like athletically he's not what he was at Alabama, and you see that
head
kind
injuries
of
maybe taking their
snap.
toll too.
Yeah, the head injury is definitely a part.
Mentioning the seeing the field, and this is in combination with the audio that we played yesterday, PA with Cousins, and just coverage versus pure progression, and just it felt like I was sitting down in a 400 level quarterback class. The last night in the game, Darnold at the end making throws like he made to Cooper Kupp, and he finds his way, helps will that offense to a victory, and just incredible moment for Sam Darnold. But earlier in the game, his 2 interceptions, both of them seeing the field post-snap, where there's a linebacker, and I forget who they were taking, but then they released him, and he just sat in the zone. It was playing pitch and catch with the defense. It's a pick. And then on the second one, he's eyeing Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you have Kobe Turner with the initial thrust, and then he drops back into coverage. Again, pitch and catch. And just within that game itself, you saw Sam Darnold struggling to just simply see the field post-snap and make the right decision.
And on the flip side, you have Matthew Stafford seeing it so well that he's manipulating the defense with his eyes, moving a defender from one area of the field to another, and then looking the ball behind them into the void. Like, that's, again, the most elite guys in the NFL are able to post-snap just see things at an elite level. That's why Phillip Rivers, even at his age, can make it work, because mentally he is there. And that's where, like, even Jalen Hurts, the Tuas of the world, Darnold, like, some of you can overcome some of the post-snap processing speed with the way you set things up, with, great design. But when it's 3rd and long and it's playoff time and you've got to make a play and see it post-snap, some guys can do it, some guys can't. And so that's where, with J.J. McCarthy, like, that's one of the most interesting facets of me watching.
Yeah.
Is, can he get to the place at which when he catches the snap, he sees things at an elite level field wise. Kevin O'Connell always talks, the 2 things he looks at in quarterbacks are accuracy and big field vision. Like, those are the 2 qualities he covets the most in quarterbacks. So it is really interesting. And to go back a little bit to the Kirk Cousins clip, like, why the pure progression stuff, for me, more than anything else, it is a window into the evolution of this game we all love. And so if you don't, some people are more nerdy about it than others, and I'm definitely on the nerd side of it. But Kirk Cousins was really talking about the evolution of the game. And so that's why it's fun. That's why, as media members, we ask the questions, because rarely do you get a window into what it looks like behind the scenes. So Kirk Cousins was really talking about, like, in the old days, you used to just look at the number of safeties deep, and that would cue you into where you throw the football. Now, because there's so much disguise, you kind of have to assess where to throw the football after the snap. And so coaches have adapted to put the quarterback in a spot where they make it easier on them to do that. That's kind of where it is.
It made me laugh over that audio clip, though, because in the end, he's explaining it as beautifully and as technically sound as you possibly could. Then at the end, after talking about the pure progression, he's like, but you also still need to know the coverage and everything. So, I mean, could you make this sound any more difficult and scientific? It's unbelievable. He's trying to solve a math proof in about 2.5 seconds.
So that's why all year you've had so many times where on either comments on stories or social media, it's like they got to make this easier on JJ. And yes, there are levers coaches can pull to try to make it easier, but the job of playing quarterback in the NFL is really, really, really difficult. No matter if you're young, no matter if you're old, no matter who you're playing. It is a very hard job that requires a certain level of aptitude, of reactiveness on the fly. And so that's what's been great to see. As much as, yes, the Vikings have leaned into heavy personnel. Yes, they're throwing outside the numbers.
They're pulling levers.
They're trying to do as much as they possibly can to put JJ in an advantageous spot, putting him on keepers and bootlegs towards the sideline. The difference now, more than anything, is that he's just making the throws that are there to be made, and he's more decisive and comfortable in the pocket. And so, you can make a lot of certain aspects, but it is a hard job. And that 1.5-minute clip of Kirk Cousins, if you watch it, it's revelatory of just the challenge that is preparing for and reacting when you're in that position on a week-to-week basis.
With the Cousins clip when he went down the road, he started with, I'm really glad you asked that because I lived the transformation. And then he went down the road of O'Connell, McVay, and the Rams. And I'm really glad he did because in a roundabout way, it was actually quite direct. He's saying, this works.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I said it yesterday. I said it today or today, whenever I was last in. Stafford has always been considered good. He's always been considered gifted. Yeah, okay, so maybe he didn't have Puka and or Cooper Kupp when he won but he had Calvin Johnson. He had a good receiver and he played a long time. But nevertheless, he gets to the Rams, it all changes. And he becomes a Super Bowl winning quarterback, might be the MVP this year. Cousins, he had 4,900 yards one year with Washington. If you look back at it, it was hollow. It was just really personifying a big box score. We know the cold-blooded throws he made here, middle of the field, with key players on the run. And so the last part here that I wanted to ask you of what Cousins said and where McCarthy is off everything you heard that is right and just from Kirk. And it ties into the offense here and the maturation of young and veteran quarterbacks. Kirk went through that transformation, middle of his career. How do you think it will impact McCarthy next season, but say by the middle of next season? So what do we got? 8 start or 9 start coming up this weekend?
9th start.
9th. So we're going to finish with 12, hopefully. Then let's get him to the middle. Let's get him 20 starts into it, middle of next season. Off what you heard from Cousins at that point with McCarthy, what do you think will be different?
Yeah, what I think is interesting is JJ sees coverage. After the game on Sunday night, he was asked about the TJ Hawkinson. I think I asked, what was your favorite throw of the night? And he said the TJ Hawkinson throw down the seam. And then as part of that answer, he's like, they were in a cover 4 pseudo Palm Z cover 2 look. So he sees coverage and is, pre-snap pretty aware of what's going on. And then it's kind of incumbent upon him. The question that I have is how good can he get pre-snap at knowing where to go, remaining calm in the pocket, being accurate with this, being good with this footwork. The questions for JJ, for me, are not at all learning the system, not at all identifying the defense pre-snap, but it's just what we talked about with Sam Darnold in the post-snap processing. How good can JJ McCarthy be at reacting on the fly and remaining calm in the pocket post-snap? And if you can become elite at that, and then your mechanics can get to a more consistent level, then you're talking about the level of quarterback play that sustains, that allows this fan base to get behind a team that's going to be in the dance every single year. And so,
well said.
To your initial question of where I expect them to be, if J.J. McCarthy can get through the last 3 games healthy and continue on this ascent, by the middle of next season, the comfort and the conviction and what he sees post snap, you would hope that rises to an entirely different level. The other aspect with JJ is he didn't play a ton of college games, and so just the more time seeing the speed of the game, you would have to think would get him to a level where post snap he can operate the way similar to some of the best do. Like, that is the hope, that is the vision, that is the trajectory that everybody, I think, would look for.
Yeah, I want to see the final 3, but if the final 3 look like the previous 2, then for me it's just knowledge versus application, really. Knowing the coverages, knowing those things. Now, how do we apply it?
Yeah.
And he's even referenced kind of subtly in the last couple of pressers talking about, I'm seeing things, but his processing is improving, I think, because it's not going through the mental laundry list of the 9 answers to a problem. It's got to be instinctual. So knowledge versus application, I think, is where that biggest growth step will take beginning in 2020.
And that's well said. Like, the application of everything is where the evaluation, the analysis of JJ should lie. Like, the application of, can you place the ball consistently? The application of, are you saying yes, no quickly when you're processing the field? So it's I think that conversation is really interesting, fascinating, and worthwhile.
That's Alec Lewis from The Athletic with Nordo, producer of 9 to Noon, and I'm Paul Allen. We are into the final hour of the third to last Friday football feast. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings Apple Valley today. Buffalo Wild Wings Roseville Wednesday. We have a Christmas Eve feast if y'all looking for something to do. Then the Vikings and the Lions the next day, shortly after 3 o'clock, FM 100.3, KFAN. We're back after this.